Hi, welcome to Walking Wilder. I'm back. This reading is going to take a look at your year ahead and kind of see what are the main themes, main things you can learn, that type of thing. So welcome in if you're new, welcome back if you've been here before, and let's see what Spirit has to say. Oh, here's two. We'll take both of them. Well, actually, no. Let's shuffle. Let's shuffle until we get just one. One card for the overall theme. Oh, that represents the year ahead here for the collective. The collective watching this energy. I'm sorry, this is like apparently difficult. Okay, the mystic and the self is underneath here. So let's see here, the overall theme. There's a with this, I know it's probably supposed to be like a butterfly or a moth or something, but it kind of gives me this phoenix rising vibe with the colors on it, and this almost looks like flames to me. Very beautiful. And here's the eye up here. It gives me this feeling of reconnecting to a part of yourself that might have been hidden for a while, this mystic, dreamy part I hear. I don't really know why the dreamy part, but it's like there's this energy of connecting to yourself on a deeper level, a more, I almost want to say profound level. It feels very deep, very connected to source. This might be a year where you really work on your spirituality, where you really connect with your guides and get in some sort of flow as far as your spiritual practice. Let's see here. Can I get two cards from this deck, Spirit, to talk about the overall year for the collective who's going to watch this reading? And welcome in if you're new, welcome back if you've been here before. I don't know if I said that already, but if I did, I'm sorry, then you're just welcomed again. So this is an intuitive channel. I'm a clairvoyant and I read intuitively and use the cards kind of as my guide. The archetypes of the cards combined with the images I see and the things I feel. Take that one more, Spirit, for the overall theme. I think that one was kind of tales in all times and spaces at the bottom of the deck here. Okay, abundance and prosperity, and the other card is build a strong foundation. So there's definitely something here about how you are in 2026 building a foundation for your life that's based on maybe a more spiritual journey, if that makes sense. And there's also a sense of peace here. You see, the fox is kind of, for me, a symbol of someone who can walk between worlds. They live below ground, and at night they come up and they roam around. Traditionally, it was a very intuitive animal, at least in the place of the world where I live, really many years ago. But this to me is kind of like a visual of what I, imagined the Akashic records would look like if they were actually like, a building, this big, beautiful, majestic type of information. So there's something about you learning to connect to your records, to your intuition, to the things in your energetic space that, holds wisdom, holds old knowledge, things that you can bring into this life, perhaps from previous lifetime. Yeah, tales in all times and spaces. The key to unlocking whatever, it is that you have with you from previous lives, the gifts that you have that you are meant to use in this life. This year, I feel, will be a year where you will really unlock a lot of that. The seer of destiny is underneath that, and the seer of change underneath that again. So this is a year where you open up to your abilities to, see things more clearly, connect to spirit on a much deeper level. And it's not, I'm not saying you haven't connected to spirit before, but it's kind of like you somehow find a way to combine this, the gifts that you have with you, this ancient old wisdom that lives in your soul, with your ability to manifest abundance and prosperity into your life. And so it's kind of like this whole, I'm seeing like, this big stirring of energy kind of working together to create something really beautiful and powerful, that it's like you're finally ready to step into this. The seer of seekers, some of you are going to be opening up to abilities that you have long forgotten that you actually had, but are connected to on a soul level. We all have our special gifts and our things, and for some of you, you're going to open up to being able to see things that, much more clearly than what you have been in the past. Beautiful energy. Can we know something about what could be important lessons coming up in this year, Spirit, for the collective who is going to find this reading? What important lessons will 2026 bring to them? Please talk to me about that. Oh, that's a little much. I think we'll just, those two? All right. I'm seeing now that this is lying over here. It's almost like for some of you, there's like a before and after. Like there's this very clear-cut line that once you cross into that, and this year, 2025, where I'm doing this reading has been, a year of the snake has really been a year where we have shedded a lot of old karmic patterns, a lot of old soul contracts has been fulfilled. And it's kind of like once you get in, to the new year, the year of the wild horse, there's a totally different energy, much lighter, much more connected, much more lighter, I think is just the better word. And it's almost like, there's this very sharp line that is like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm done with whatever karmic patterns it is that you have been working on through lifetimes, I hear. You have ended something major, soul contracts that have been trying to be put to rest for a very, very long time. And you are like ready to enter into a new phase now. Now, this is not to say that there's no more karma, there's no more, of course there is, to play out, but you have actually ended something very, very big. And I think you all know this. This has not come easy. This has been a long, long journey. You have probably had lives that has been filled with challenges and, lots of soul lessons, but it's like, it's time for literally for a new dawn now, a new year, a new dawn here. So, all right. Important lessons in the new year. 4 of Cups. So, there's something here. Almost, I'm seeing the original card from, where he's sitting underneath the tree, holding out the cup, and Spirit is trying to give him this cup, and he's kind of not seeing it. this feels to me almost like Spirit saying, okay, make sure that you pay attention, because a lot of things are going to come at you here, and not at you in a bad way, but it's like these gifts that are going to be opening up. Some of them has probably already begun, but this is really like ancient old stuff, and it's like, don't miss it because you're not paying attention. So don't be distracted by too much noise in your life, too much other stuff, doing things out in the world kind of thing. Make sure that you pay attention to what Spirit is trying to give you. Here's Three of Pentacles. So there's something here about creating with other people, success, building something that's a healthy foundation. Again, build a strong foundation here. And something that's, on a lot of different levels are going to be interesting. Well, be interesting, but be, it's kind of like it's an energy of bringing gifts together that you can somehow create something new from. It's like I'm seeing someone, pulling these things out of a big baskets and is molding them into something new. So whatever soul gifts it is that you're opening up to here will make it possible for you to create something new that you may not have seen for just a year ago or 6 months ago. Even you wouldn't have been able to imagine that whatever it is that's coming through here would be able to change your life as dramatically as this has the potential to. King of Wands, Knight of Swords. Yeah, this is passionate energy. This is energy that, is confident, that it's a leader, that is putting things into motion. And it's kind of like, Spirit is like, okay, we see that you are ready for creating something bigger than what you have had until now in your life, that you have actually gone through this whole thing of letting go of these. And it's like, we're now going to bring back through time and space, the gifts that have served you well in other lifetimes, so that you can fulfill whatever contract it is you have in this life. There's something there. The Knight of Swords is ambitious. He is wanting to build things. Can also be like a little reckless, a little, but that's not really the energy. It's like there's an excitement here. It's like there'll be a part of you that will be like so ready to go, so ready to build something grand. I don't know, I never use that word, but that's the feeling I'm getting here. So the lesson for the most important lesson for this year is to really pay attention and to go for opportunities when they show up for you, to really follow what comes, to not doubt yourself, to have trust that you are this mystic at the core of you. You are capable of pulling on energies and gifts that you have had in lifetimes. You are so much more than what life has shown you until now, if that makes sense. And the message here is to really make sure you pay attention. Don't be sidetracked. Follow what comes up. Take good care of yourself and go for it. Take some chances. Be the leader in your own life. Follow inspiration. Follow passion. Be curious. That type of energy here. How to progress on your spiritual path here. I found this spread here at Emerald Lotus page. She has a lot of beautiful, beautiful spreads. So thank you so much for putting those out there for us to be inspired by. Let's see. Progress on our spiritual path. Here's the Tower. This is fast-moving energy. It is literally like poof, and here we go. We step into 2026. Actually, the start of the year of the horse is sometime in February. I forget the exact date, but it's almost like you're feeling, you know, time is about ready to speed up, because this is going to be, you know, a fast-paced thing. Here, here's the Five of Pentacles. This is kind of what you're leaving behind. This is what, you know, you really have to let go of, this feeling of not being powerful enough to really create what you want, you know, you want to create. Of course, you know, that's not to say, you know, get in your ego or anything like that, but it's like this ability to be humble, but knowing that you have powerful soul gifts, and you have them because you're supposed to use them for the greater good of all. Knight of Pentacles here. You know, the new opportunities are going to come in. They're going to come in fast with the Tower, and some of them might change, you know, the way you live your life or outlooks you have on life. But the message here is the progression is in the learning, in the doing, in the following whatever comes up, the not being afraid to take the chances, not being afraid to go for what is calling, what is being presented to you. Yeah. How can I stay connected to my inner truth? Can we know about that, Spirit, for the people who are going to be finding this reading and resonating with it for the energy of 2026? Here's the Four of Swords. Oh. And the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, you know, again, the Four of Swords here, card that talks about resting, taking good care of yourself, maybe meditating, contemplating, you know, healing whatever needs to be healed. But I really feel like you have already healed a great deal. That's not to say that there's nothing left in your life to heal. But this is, you know, for me, a message of make sure you take good care of yourself. And also, here's the Queen of Pentacles. Make sure you see your own worth. This is like, see how the, you know, she's holding the crown here, and it's almost like you're going to be crowning yourself, in the sense that you're going to wake up to the gifts that, you know, you might not have seen. They've always been there lying dormant because they are part of your soul. But it's like all of a sudden, well, yeah, all of a sudden, you know, with the Tower card there, something's going to shift, and you'll be able to actually, I almost want to say see your own power. I don't know that, but, you know, at least definitely feel it. So the importance here of taking good care of yourself, make sure you're rested, make sure that you are, you know, connecting to your guides, make sure that you also, you know, contemplating what it is that you want to do and how you can, you know, benefit the highest good of all. There's something there to take some time out to think about what is my role in this lifetime? What is that I'm here to create, and how can I best do that? There's something about that. Can you talk to me a little bit more about that, Spirit? Ace of Wands. Yeah. Creativity, potential. It's like it's so important that you see it. But, you know, one thing is to see the new possibilities, the potential in yourself and in the gifts. But there's also this drive to go after whatever it is that's presenting itself. This feels very much like a burst of excitement, a burst of, whoa, this is, you know, this is magical that things can manifest for me this way. Like all of a sudden you see yourself in a new perspective, which is really, you know, again, it's not new. This tales in all times and spaces. It's like you've had the key to unlock this, you know, the whole time. But you had to go through whatever, you know, lessons it is that life has taught you until now to really get to a point where you can both see, understand, and appreciate the gifts that you have with you. Queen of Swords here, yeah. See clearly what this can do, the purpose of this, the magic of this, what you can create, what you can share with the world, how you can help people heal, how you can help, people find their way, whatever it is that your gift is, how you can teach, how you can write, how you can, whatever it is that is your gift, in this lifetime, you're going to see it clearly in 2026. Opportunities are going to be presenting themselves, and it will be like, I almost get a feeling like for some of you're almost at a place, where you can instantly manifest. It's like you wish something and poof, there's the tower, and something manifests in your life, that you might, years ago have thought would never be possible. But it's like, there they are. The opportunity came, and, it just, I don't know, manifested. Yeah. So here's the Seven of Swords. Make sure you don't, talk yourself out of believing that things are possible. That's very, very important to believe that, of course, this is possible, because you are a soul having a human experience, not the other way around. So remember, don't gaslight yourself into thinking that you can't manifest this, or you don't deserve that, or, whatever it is. So talk to me about the new opportunities this year, Spirit. Choices. Seven of Cups. So there's a lot of choices ahead of you. A lot of things that you can actually, choose between, bring into this world. Now, the Seven of Cups can also talk about illusions and kind of, so make sure you don't, be careful not to let yourself get caught by the glamour of something. Again, I have this feeling with this, make sure that whatever it is that's calling you, that you see what it can do for the highest potential, the highest good of all. To not, to come from the right place is if you discover you have clairvoyant abilities, for example, make sure that you come at it from a point of view of how can I help people, not how can I make a lot of money. That's not going to create good karma for you. I'm just saying that's just an example. It could be a million other things. But it's kind of like the intention behind whatever it is you are creating is going to be important. Because you can either create something magical that can, help heal the world, help send light into the world, or you can, if you come at it from the wrong perspective, you can create something that's going to create some kind of karma for you because it doesn't come from a pure place. Now that say, of course we're humans, and it's not that you can't make money on whatever it is. That's not. But make sure that your intentions are to help in the greatest way possible. Something like that. That might not be for all of you, but there's something here about that energy. Just check yourself and see from what space am I manifesting. Is this a heart space? Is this a soul purpose? Is this or am I, maybe in my ego space a little bit? Just, be careful. Talk to me more about these new opportunities. Spirit. Five of Swords. King of Pentacles. Yeah, this is like when you start something new, and this is you, this King of Pentacle energy, he is very capable of manifesting whatever it is he wants. And this might trigger some people. Here's the Five of Swords, which, can bring discussions and arguments. And, if you're trying to create something, people coming at you, if it was a YouTube channel, people might come at you in the comments saying, that's BS or, whatever. Well, I mean, you've seen comments on Facebook and other places, I'm sure, how people talk to each other. So you might stir some resistance in other people. But it's very important that you are holding your vision, that you are really seeing that this is stable, this is abundant, this is something that you can work with, an energy and a gift, a capability, resources, whatever it is that, you know, is going to show up for you, that you can use for the highest good of all. Not everyone is going to agree with you. They might not even agree with you on what the highest good of all is. But my feeling with this is that's, you know, don't concern yourself with that. That's like a lower energy that's just going to drag you down. Stay in this energy of believing that things are possible and I have, you know, the best intentions, and then go with that. Life tends to be mystical, you know, magical when you come from the right place. Okay, let's see here. Ace of Cups, yeah. Exactly. So, you know, stay in love. Make sure that what you're wanting to do is meant to create more love, more light in the world, more connection. And I don't mean, you know, love and light in that fluffy, we can heal everything with, but, you know, in this, how do we treat each other? How do we talk to each other? How am I showing up in the world for other people? Is it from a loving, kind perspective? I love that word, kindness. You can always be kind. In any situation, you can be kind. That's, you know, a choice to come from a place of kindness. Doesn't mean you have to accept people's BS or whatever, but you can show up in an energy of being kind. You know, that's huge in a lot of ways. Talk to me more about these opportunities, Spirit. What opportunities are coming in 2026? Whoops. Here's the High Priestess. This is, you know, again, spiritual opening for some of you. Some of you might choose to quit your day job and, you know, pursue some kind of spiritual path, or, you know, start a new spiritual-based business of some sort where your whole, you know, idea is to help people to, you know, yeah, help people. I just got, the light just changed. Which was why I was like thrown a little bit. Interesting. But yeah, you know, and there might be a message in that, you know. The whole light on my screen changed. It became warmer. It became, I don't know, well, you can't say it became more connected, but it felt like something changed for the better. And I didn't touch any settings or anything. So there's a message here in this. Whenever you follow your intuition, things are going to become better. It's important to stay true to the path and look for the signs, look for the little synchronicities, you know. Go follow whatever it is that your dream is. There's the Seer of Secrets again. There's literally, when I split the deck, you know, there's literally a lot of you that are opening up for your gifts. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you're going to sit down and read cards. Some of you might. But, you know, there's a lot of ways to use your intuition, a lot of different type of jobs where you can use your intuition and help people on a deeper level than what we have been doing up until now. You know, being a teacher, for instance, if you have that ability to really feel energy and feel how your students actually feel, that's a tremendous gift, you know, huge. And a lot of different fields where you, any type of work where you connect with animals or people, that heightened intuition is basically a huge gift. So let's see here. I think we'll pull a few of these. Talk to me, Spirit, about new opportunities in 2026. Call back your power. Yeah, you know, this is going to be something that you need to focus on. I'm kind of like, I'm seeing, you know, all of these lightnings, and it sort of reminds me that, you know, lots of different things might be coming at you in 2026, but you have somehow returned to, you know, a powerful version of yourself. And it's like where things in the past might have drained you, this is almost like this is going to empower you even more. I don't know, but that's the Seer of Change. Yeah, it's, for some of you are almost building up a resistance, not a resistance to change, but a resistance to, you know, being being scared of it. It's kind of like you're going from, oh, change, I don't know, that, sounds kind of scary, to change. Interesting, bring it on type of energy. There's an element of this surrender to what is, this acceptance of, whatever is whatever is happening, whatever is coming, it's like you somehow have the ability to see the good in it, see the possibility in it, where before you might have been like, oh, this is like just not, not again, and now what, and da-da-da, where here it's like, okay, change coming, how can I use this? How can I transmute this energy into something that's useful, that I can, build something on, build this foundation on? How can I see the deeper meaning of something? Can I get a few more here, Spirit? All right, that was a lot more. Yeah, allowing it to arrive. So it's this energy of, change is coming, and I'm just going to, instead of worrying about it, I'm going to be, almost like, not almost actually, I'm going to be curious about it. I'm going to be, interesting. Okay, what can I do with this? Where before you might have been, oh, this is way too much, or way too hard, or I don't know what to do, or where now it's like, whatever gifts it is that are opening up for you is going to make you capable of looking at change as something that's a very positive thing, instead of something that you're like, I don't really know. So this is an initiation, This is you stepping across this threshold here that we saw earlier into this new timeline, where you are in a much brighter space, in a much more capable space of, holding your own, I'm hearing. I don't know. This card talked about activating the sisterhood. Some of you are going to connect here. I'm feeling this can, be your guides. This can be your ancestors. This can also be soul tribe people around you, new people that comes into your life that you really resonate with or can create something with. It can be a lot of different things, but it's like you're not standing here by yourself. Number 4-4, which to me is a very solid foundation. So this is like, you stepped from being on this lonely soul path, and I'm not saying, you've been alone all this time and all of that, but it's kind of like you have been on this soul journey, kind of, walking up through your own shadowland type of deal. And now it's like you're emerging on the other side, and this new chapter is something that is built much more on connection, on love, on kindness, on gratitude, and also on a really deep, knowing that you are worthy and you are capable and you do have these gifts, and you're supposed to have these gifts because you're supposed to use them for the greater good of all. There's definitely something in that. Any advice here for 2026, Spirit? Any advice for 2026 here? 9 of Cups. Yeah. Ask for what you want. 9 of Cups is wish fulfillment. This is you asking Spirit, okay, I want to create this. How can you help me? And Spirit is going like, well, here you go. Here are all the tools. Here are all the gifts. Here are everything you need. But you have to ask. This is you co-creating with the universe here. Showing up, asking for what you need, asking for what you're wanting to create to come into physical form, and believing that Spirit is going to have your back. 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, you're co-creating with Spirit. This is you working on whatever dream it is you have, using the soul gifts that are going to open up to you, connecting with Spirit, asking for what you need, and, being curious, creative, following whatever comes up, and walking, ahead with this. It's, Ace of Pentacles. It's it's this new potential of abundance. And I think you're going to feel it very deeply. And not, just abundance of material wealth and that type of thing. There might be that as well. But it's like abundance of that feeling of, inner joy. That feeling of knowing that you're making a difference, that feeling of knowing that you can create something beautiful, that you are, here for a purpose. A feeling of inner joy and purpose. That type of abundance. Anything else, Spirit, for 2026 here? And again, if this resonates with you, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you feel called to do so. I really appreciate it. And leave me a comment. Here's the Two of Swords. This to me is like this, Ten of Swords. You're choosing here. Two of Swords is about Two of Swords is about choices. You're choosing here to let go of the reminiscence of all this past, of all the healing cycles that you've been through, the karma that you carried, all the patterns, the contracts, all of that. But see how, you're choosing this, and you're actually choosing it based on a lot of faith, because, you come from this. This has not been the easiest place to get to with the Ten of Swords. And you can't see yet what's ahead, but it's still you making this choice. Here's the Knight of Cups. Moving forward with love, with kindness, with curiosity. What is it that's coming through for me here? What are these gifts? What is it that I'm vaguely remembering that's kind of bubbling up to the surface here? Here with your heart. There's something about that, to listen for whatever it is that's coming your way and calling it in. Because it's coming. 2026 is going to be a year that's going to bring you gifts that your soul has carried for many, many lifetimes. And now it's time that reality mirrors what is actually inside of you. So this is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful energy. Very, very exciting. So I hope it resonates. I hope this, helps give you some hope for 2026. And, lets you know that you've done a lot of hard work to get to this place. So it's time to step into the mystic part of yourself and accept the soul gifts that you have carried with you for so long, and really put them to good use for yourself and everyone that you come into contact with. So thank you so much for being here and for connecting. I really do appreciate it. And Happy New Year when you get there. And I'll see you in another reading. Big love.